There's always a pain point, right? Like, for example, if somebody comes to you and says, hey, I'm really looking for somebody new to do my marketing, it's because there was a pain point with whoever they were using before you. Same with us. There's a lot of doctors out there that are currently doing full arch that are feeling pain in some way, and everybody's feeling something different. And so now Dr. Reg is doing 70, 80 a year. His goal is to do 100 this year. And so he's built that up over the last 3 or 4 years of continuing to kind of grow his capabilities within his practice.
And we've talked a lot about the downsides, right? I think in the full arch world, or even in dental as a whole, everybody always just talks about the upside and everything's great, and they don't talk about the downsides. Welcome back to another episode of the Full Arch Advantage podcast. I'm your host, Gary Bird. I'm the founder of SMC National, where we help you create, convert, and close more full arches so you can grow the way that you want. And today I have a very, very special episode with Dr. Frank LaMar, who's not only a practicing prosthodontist, but he's also the founder and CEO of Hybridge. I learned so much from Dr. Frank, and I'm really excited for episode number 2. He's going to be jump into how he built Hybridge and how he helps other dentists accomplish what he's already done. Stay tuned. Yeah, so tell me a little bit about the kind of dentists that come and work with you guys. Like, where are they at in their journey? What are they looking for? Tell me a little bit about that customer profile from a clinical standpoint.
All different levels. We have dentists who join us who've been in. They've had surgical practices wanting to do full arch A to Z. We've had prosthodontists who want to do the surgical side and do it A to Z. We have super GPs that want to do it. There are folks that haven't done any arches. They've done quadrant dentistry, and they know that full arch is something that they want to do. They just don't know how to start. We have doctors who are experienced in full arch, but feel like they've hit a ceiling, whether it's a ceiling of complexity of how to do it or how to scale it. And the technology that's out there is very confusing for a lot of doctors, and really kind of clarifying how to use these technologies well. Did you play pickleball, Gary? Have you found that?
I don't, but I know a lot of people do. It's very popular.
So in pickleball, I'm about a 3.5.
Out of 10?
So,
or out of 5?
Out of 5.
Okay, that's pretty good.
All right. So novice is like a 1.0, 2, and you get to 3. 3, you're pretty good at a 3. I'm a little better than pretty good at a 3.5. But no matter where you are, there's always somebody better than you out there, right? And wherever you are, there's groups that you can play with and take lessons from that's appropriate for wherever you are in your pickleball journey. Hybridge is the same way. We'll take somebody who's a novice, and give them the foundational understanding of what full arch is, and give them the big view on, okay, this is what it is. This is what you know. Here's how you have to level up in order to feel confident to do your first cases.
You've probably noticed this before, but this podcast is unsponsored. What that means is we don't get paid to do it, but we want to bring you the best information possible. So how do we make sure that this content stays on the air? We need you to like and subscribe. Wherever you're at, whatever you're listening on, just give us a thumbs up or subscribe, and that helps us out so much. I know that you probably haven't done it, so I'm just going to sit here and wait until you do. 95% of our listeners have not subscribed to our podcast. So go ahead and do it now. Don't make this awkward. All right, good. Back to the show.
We have doctors that are doing 20, 30, 40 a year. So they're what I would call intermediate. They'd be like a 3.0 if we were talking about it like that. And their office is in chaos. They want to do more, but they've hit that ceiling, and we show them how to raise the ceiling and be able to do more of those cases. And so, various levels, various needs, but filling the gap is kind of where our education has been over the last few years.
That's awesome. And where are you guys? Like, what are some of the results that people are getting as they're working with you? Meaning, and explain it in a way I would understand. So Basically here's the story I'm telling myself, and you can tell me if I'm totally wrong. I imagine people are getting into full arch, having a lot of frustrations, and then they need the support of somebody like you guys. So they end up over with your company. Tell me a little bit about that. Am I right on that? And how does that look? Or are they coming at different, I know you said they're coming at different stages, but tell me more about the why of them coming.
There's always a pain point, right? Like, for example, if somebody comes to you and says, hey, I'm really looking for somebody new to do my marketing, it's because there was a pain point with whoever they were using before you. Same with us. There's a lot of doctors out there that are currently doing full arch that are feeling pain in some way, and everybody's feeling something different. And so we are typically, like, if somebody's done, like, there's a doc, I'm going to call him Dr. Greg. Dr. Greg was maybe doing 10 arches a year and knew he wanted to do more, but he didn't want to do more if it was anything like the 10 he was currently doing. And so now Dr. Greg is doing 70, 80 a year. His goal is to do 100 this year, which he will. And so he's built that up over the last 3 or 4 years of continuing to kind of grow his capabilities within his practice. So that's sort of a typical thing. But the pain point was he didn't really have a solid workflow in the practice and was confused by what they were hearing from the local labs. Every local lab wants to do full arch, by the way. And unfortunately, and you can't blame them, but they don't have the depth of knowledge to help guide somebody like Dr. Greg through that growth. So, it's not the same as quadrant dentistry or crown and bridge or whatever. There's a lot to it that takes a long time to get good at.
Yeah, that is really true. What are some other pitfalls? I know you shared some of the pitfalls that you had specifically and that you worked through, but what are some other pitfalls that you're helping people work through that new dentists or dentists that are maybe failing right now at full arch and it's really rocky for them that you guys help them through that they may not be seeing, or they may not know that it's going on, but because you guys have done so many reps, both you as an individual and you guys as a company, you know how to help them avoid those traps before they get there.
Well, we do try to train them on just what the standard planning and, what kind of implants should you use? What kind of technology should you use? How do you plan the implants? How much vertical space do you need? We talked about materials. We talked about workflow and all that. But when patients are unhappy, there's a reason why I would say easy, even in my practice, honestly, Gary, 20% of my patients upon completion will have some issue. We call it getting the bugs out. You got to work the system. This is a very delicate system. Phonetics, occlusion, comfort, you name it, but you need to be able to get.
And you need to do things for the short term as well as the long term.
You have got to get them at some point to go, thank you. I ran into a patient about a month ago. I saw the patient on recall. Patient was done for like 3 or 4 months, and I poked my head in, waiting for the big pat on my back, and I, hey, how's it going? Guys, case looked great. He goes, it's okay. What do you mean it's okay? It's pretty good, And I said, is something wrong? He goes, it just doesn't feel right. Just doesn't feel right. Like that, by the way, is kind of a thing. I said, well, please come back in. Let me take a look at it. Well, there was 2 or 3 things that I had to tweak on that patient in order to go get it from it feels okay to thank you very much. It feels perfect. But I can tell you, the case as a whole didn't look much different when I was done. And it's those little bits that make a big difference in full arch. And I think a lot of doctors get hung up on that little bit. How do I get them out of that? Like, what are the causes of those things, those getting the bugs out that are causing those issues? And how do you prevent them? So that's this gray hair is there for a reason.
Yeah. And we've talked a lot about the downsides, right? So I think I think in the full arch world, or even in dental as a whole, everybody always just talks about the upside and everything's great, and they don't talk about the downside. So I try really hard to talk about the downside first. But tell me a little bit about the upside. I want to talk. I think we've given a fair shake at the downside.
I agree with that.
Tell me about the doctors that are just crushing it with you guys and what that looks like and what that feels like.
So the validation to the upside is getting text messages with regularity from doctors who say, it changed my life. Because dentistry, like when I went to dental school, I didn't think I would have any real impact on our patients' lives. I knew I could fix teeth. I knew I'd be a good dentist. I got pretty good hands, but the ability for dentists to significantly impact many, many people over time, like that's our mission, having impact on patients and that ripple effect. We talk about this ripple effect, Gary, which is you're the patient. I solve your problems, but it might help you, but it helps your kids and it helps it sort of changes a lot of people that are around you. And dentists that have that experience, a lot of it, we can say, well, how many arches do you do? Well, multiply, or divide number of arches, divide into that. How many patients have you affected? And, hundreds of patients, thousands of patients over my career, I've had some impact in the community on. That's really, to me, that's the upside.
That's awesome. What other questions did I not ask you that you feel that we should cover for the audience to understand, either both on your personal journey or on your journey on helping other dentists?
I think everybody's got their own journey. I think everybody has their own goals. Like I might say, I want to do 20, 25 arches, a month. Somebody else might say, you know what, I just want to have a tool in my toolbox and I want to be able to do 2 or 3 of these a quarter or 10 a year. Like I want to be able to participate in this great thing. It doesn't matter, growth is in your goals is your goals, but you want to be able to just get good at it. And I think that's fine. I think the mindset matters. The one mindset that I really have found to be a more of a negative mindset is that this is a money-making thing. This is not like if you're in it to make a lot of money, probably it's probably not as solid as if you go into it going, I want to do this for other reasons. And I want to build my practice. I want to give more opportunity to the people that work for me. I want to treat patients. As a practice grows, right, that affects everybody in the practice. Everybody wants to make more money. Everybody wants to continue to grow. You can't give opportunity in your own business unless you're growing. So to me, those are the reasons why, how can you really grow in a controlled way doing the stuff that you really want to do? I think if you're built for full arch and you have the training for it, there's nothing better.
Awesome. If someone wants to reach out to you and learn more about how you help doctors with full arch, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
Jim Wheeler is the guy at Hybridge that will talk you through where you are and kind of try to prescribe what the right path is. So Jay Wheeler at hybridgeimplants.com. Jay Wheeler at Hybridge, Hybridge, by the way, Hybridge Implants with an S.com. He'd be the guy to actually talk to. And
we'll put that,
you can go on hybridgeinfo.com. You can see it.
Okay. Okay, we'll put that info down below.
Awesome.
and make sure people can reach out. I appreciate you coming on, sharing the good, the bad, and I really admire that you were able to take something that worked for you and turn it into something that worked for so many other people. So bravo, and I love that you're still in this, doing this every single day. That tells me a lot about you and what you love to do. So very, very impressive.
Thanks, Gary.
And great story.
Thanks. I love what you're doing. I think you the conversations that you and I have had, it's amazing how similar our philosophies are about that. And so, we're happy to help, but we'll obviously talk some more.
Awesome. Thanks so much.